Attention. What's happening in the Gulf of Mexico illustrates an audacity toward nature. A similar audacity called GMO, or genetically modified organisms, means that the quality of commercially grown food may be compromised with our health in the balance. Now that summer's here, what better time to learn about the bounty that nature provides in wild edible food? Let author Linda Runyon show you the best-kept secret in plain sight, that food is everywhere you look. This summer, for the cost of a good meal or two out, you can literally starvation-proof yourself and your loved ones against any future craziness, and put up tons of free food, too. Whatever experiment is being run on us, you can rest assured that Linda's 50 or so staple foods aren't involved. Our foods are their enemy. So go to ofthefield.com or call toll-free 1-888-51-EAT-FREE and take that first step. Make your oasis of food security and nutrition now. That's OFTHEFIELD.com or call 1-888-513-2837. Start now and make 2010 your year of independence.
Attention, this is a special alert to all Americans who owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS. The IRS is now accepting reduced settlements from people who owe back taxes and dramatically lowering amounts owed. Due to the financial crisis in America, the IRS has announced a leniency plan in recognition of consumers' financial troubles in today's economy. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS, an open phone line has been established by American Tax Settlement for you to call and see if you qualify for a reduction by up to 75%. Number to call is 800-902-6969. Again, the IRS is now accepting reduced settlements from consumers who owe back taxes in response to the decline in today's economy. If you are struggling with $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS, you now may be eligible for a dramatic reduction by up to 75% and save thousands of dollars. For free information and to see if you qualify, call the open phone line into American Tax Settlement now. 800-902-6969. 800-902-6969. Again, 800-902-6969.
Okay, Paul Velty, Peaceable Texans for Firearms Rights. Be sure and give out the website. Paul is with us. All right, you got the floor in this segment and the next, then we're going to Bob Chapman. Recap all those great points and any other points you haven't gotten to and how we can somehow help this guy. You also, during the break, said it'd be good if one of the jurors contacted you for even more on what went on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I would very much like to talk to those jurors to find out what went through their heads, what were they thinking when they did this to a fellow citizen. Truly, how do they expect us to know to protect ourselves from these illegal aliens? It's, you know, the estimates are 20, 25 million people have entered the country.
More than that, yeah.
Last, decade or so? It's like an invasion. It's treasonous, in my opinion, because look, what's the difference between helping 1,000 men with guns come across the border and take over the government? What's the difference between that and assisting a million people to come in, set up shop, and start voting and accomplish the same end?
And then using them as informants to set up veterans.
Well, to put you out of work, to put you in prison, to make you give up your rights, to use them to prosecute you, as was done to Paul Copeland. I think it's a crime. It's a crime what the government's doing. They're the ones in charge of immigration, yet they're using these illegals they have allowed in the country against the citizenry. In this case, to lock up a man and to frighten the rest of us into not exercising our lawful rights to buy and sell our guns. That's what it seems.
And you've really cut to the bone. I mean, your analysis is exactly my analysis because it's veritas. It's the truth, and it's outrageous, and it's only going to get worse. And they successfully shut down that gun show.
Yes, they did.
They used that sting on the news.
APD used that. It was, what's interesting is that there was no arrest that day on January 16th of this year at the gun show. Paul Copeland was not arrested. He was let go. They just took his gun collection, swiped it, robbed him, and left. And yet, APD claimed because of the arrest at the gun show, we're going to have to shut it down because it's a nuisance. They used this nuisance statute we have on the books here.
For crack houses.
For crack houses, exactly. Whorehouses, place like that where this
places of ill repute, continued crime areas.
Yeah. If you have repeated arrests for drug possession and such at a certain locale, they can come in and condemn your property as a nuisance, right? And make you pay damages and clean it up and whatever. Well, that's what APD was claiming at the gun show.
So it's just
But
lawless, out of control color of law.
There wasn't even color of law. If you read the nuisance statute, it clearly didn't apply to this kind of situation. It limits itself to certain types of arrests.
So the government's out of control. Where do we go from here? Because I've seen this similar tactic being used all over the country. Illinois, Indiana, California, New Mexico, they're doing these stings everywhere.
Yes, to me, it's a clearly a move by this administration. That's an anti-gun administration. They'll use whatever they can under the radar to attack us, okay, our gun rights. I think any kind of overt move, like Clinton did, they have learned the hard way that's a bad political move. So they're going to do things under the radar, like destroy millions of perfectly good firearms that should be sold to the public. The civilian marksmanship actually has a program where you can get a free M1.
And now the feds are blocking that pro-Second Amendment good government policy of stuff that taxpayers already paid for. Instead of destroying it, the citizens could get it or pay a small price or even get it free, pay for the shipping. Not anymore. They're destroying them. And they're trying to block the military selling brass to reloaders.
All of that's total insanity. I mean, we paid for this stuff.
Oh, wait, it's total insanity unless you're like Hitler, who didn't want the citizens armed. Then it makes perfect sense. Back in 70 seconds, final 5 minutes with Paul Velty. I'm Alex Jones.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Paul Velty, founder of Peaceable Texas for Firearms Rights, with us for another 5 minutes, and Bob Chapman joins us. If you just tuned in, the headline at Infowars.com. Feds convict Texans for selling a gun to illegal alien with Texas driver's license. That's the press release. We've got links to Peaceable Texas for Firearms Rights. I appreciate Paul Velty joining us. Paul, give out the website. Again, this is a national issue. The Obama administration using illegal aliens who are given driver's license to go set up citizens who legally transfer firearms to them. They're also trying it with gun shops. They come in and fill out fake forms. Government says they don't care. They're sending you to jail. They want to, by hook or by crook, extrajudicially outside the law, or by using fake laws with juries or misapplying laws to send people to prison.
Yeah, well, I call it creating legal risk. If they make something like gun ownership so legally risky and costly that people just voluntarily give it up and quit exercising those rights, that has accomplished their end. And I think that's what we've been doing for the last, well, since the 68 Gun Control Act, really, because that's where it all started. The 68 Gun Control Act, a lot of people need to be aware, you know, it has a list of prohibited persons in it. And that list has been growing and growing. They keep adding in onto it. See,
now they say if you're even in a divorce, they file things and try to take your guns. They're now trying to say veterans can't have guns if they ever collapse on the battlefield. They're now saying that's a mental illness.
Right. A lot of those provisions of the 68 Gun Control Act were never enforced. Like, for example, it's illegal for a person who's addicted to drugs or who's an illegal user of narcotics to possess a firearm. And you could never prove that.
And so now Rush Limbaugh hurts his back. He's on Oxycontin. He can't own a gun.
Well, it's more like the pot smoker. If you're going to be a pot smoker, you can't be a gun owner.
Because it's listed as a narcotic.
Yes, right, even though it's not.
Yeah.
But that's listed as such, yes.
What is that, Schedule 3?
Schedule 1.
Schedule 1.
Yeah, Schedule 1 drugs have no known medical use whatsoever. Can't even experiment with them. Cocaine's on Schedule 2, okay? You can at least...
So marijuana's worse than cocaine?
Yeah.
Because cocaine has medical use in surgery.
Yeah, well...
Blood vessel.
But the history of marijuana is that it's been used medicinally for hundreds, maybe 1,000 years.
Yeah, so they're widening. I mean, I can't tell you how many vets I know, including one of them who's a famous football player. I'll just leave it at that. And he has no criminal record. And he tried to go in and buy a firearm last year, and they said, there's something in your Army record. And they wouldn't even tell him. They said, no more guns. In fact, we may come to your house and take them. In fact, you just can't buy a gun, pal. We're coming to take them.
Yeah, I have a vet who has the same problem. He seeing the VA doctors, right? They're nice government paid for doctors, but most of them are like Indian and, non-Americans. And he happened to draw a particular Indian woman doctor who said, oh, you've got you've got post-traumatic stress disorder. You shouldn't be allowed to have firearms anymore.
Yeah, no, it's foreigners who hate the Second Amendment because of the culture.
Yeah. It's a sad point we've come to, but I'm glad you allow me to be here to at least wake up people a little bit as to this particular new threat with this prosecution of citizens for selling to illegal aliens.
We've got to get your press release out to everybody. It's Feds convict Texans for selling a gun to illegal alien with Texas driver's license. Key report. And how do we help Mr. Copeland? Obviously, the guys have been haranguing me, rightfully so. Let's get him on with Mr. Velty in the next week or two before he goes to prison. I mean, let's try to help him.
Well, I don't know that there's a lot any of us can do for him now. He's been convicted, all right? There's one thing about the legal system, and is that it presumes itself to be so infallible that once they decide something, it's decided. It's res judicata, and it stays that way. Now, his only prayer is an appeal, and that the judge made some kind of error during the course of his trial that he could get a reversal.
Well, he contacted us after he'd been convicted. I'd met him before that, after it had happened, but we need to try to help him somehow. Paul Velty, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you.
Amazing interview. We'll be right back. That's Paul Velty, Peaceful Texas for Firearms Rights. I'm Alex Jones, defending the Republic. Listen up, friends. This is Alex Jones with key information. The mainstream media is now admitting that we're going into a depression. Don't be dependent on the government for you and your family. You need to get your own supply of high-quality storable foods from eFoodsDirect.com. They're the best company out there, the longest continually operating, with a ton of great food to choose from. It's all fresh and made on a monthly basis, not some old cruddy food they're selling you like some of the other guys. Try their new Evacuation Pack, a 2-week supply of delicious, easy-to-fix food. It comes with all the equipment you need to prepare it. With open talk of a strike on Iran in the next 3 months, the crisis in the Gulf, and possible evacuations, get yourself and your family ready today. The place to go is eFoodsDirect.com. Go to their website online right now, eFoodsDirect.com/Alex, or call 800-409-5633. Again, on the web, eFoodsDirect.com/Alex, or give them a call at 800-409-5633.
When you're out on the road,